Something that the scriptures want to remind us of during the season of Advent is who Jesus is. That he is the Son of David. And we see all of that connection with Joseph being his legal father. He has his heavenly father, but when Joseph takes Mary into his home and he becomes, for all intents and purposes, the very human father image for Christ, and allowing him to be a son of David. He's also born in Bethlehem, the city of David. And so this is one of these moments in which Matthew is reminding us that he is this Davidic king that's promised, because the Messiah, who would be a Davidic king, who would be a son of David, he would do two things. He would feed his people, and he would heal his people. Those are two key things. The Messiah, when he comes, the Messiah gives bread to eat. The Messiah heals the mute, the lame, the blind. This is one of the reasons why when John the Baptist is in prison and he sends word to Jesus saying, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another?" Jesus, the way he answers that is he says, "Go and tell John, the blind see, the lame walk." And he goes through this whole thing because that's the promise of what the Messiah does. And again, another thing is that the Messiah feeds. So we have this moment in which the crowd is hungry. They're in a deserted place. You can see that as the world. They are here and they're starving. And Jesus' heart goes out to them. And he feeds them. He feeds them in a way that no earthly power could ever do. He takes what little is there and he transforms it into something that satisfies every one of them. So much so that there are 7 baskets full. That 7 word is the word of covenant. When you 7 something, you swear an oath, a covenant to that. When you enter into marriage, it's this idea of 7ing. That's the perfect number in this life. And so there are 7 baskets full. There are 7 loaves of bread. And these are to remind us at the very middle, in the middle area of the Gospel of Matthew, that this is the King who made a promise to do what the kings of old failed to do, to take care of the widow, the orphan, those who feel like they have no one to take care of them, no one to protect them, because all the shepherds have gone astray. Jesus comes saying, "I am the good shepherd." David was a shepherd. He fought the lion to save the sheep. I'm here. I will protect you, I will heal you, and I will feed you. And the amazing thing that the people of Israel didn't connect the dots until Jesus came and revealed himself was that in the book of the prophet Isaiah, it says, "On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will provide for all peoples. He will provide the food. He will feed his people on his holy mountain." So all of a sudden, the image of this Davidic king, this Messiah, who comes to give bread to his people, to feed them when they're hungry. He heals by destroying death forever. He wipes away the tears from their faces, the suffering, the woundedness. And it says here, on that day it will be said, "Behold our God, to whom we looked to save us." Do you see how these two images come together. And all of a sudden we realize that the very Davidic king is God himself. He didn't just send an emissary, someone to speak on his behalf. He sent his very self. And that's the great mystery of the gift of God, is actually God giving himself. And that's what happens when he feeds us with the bread of finest wheat, when he feeds us with Holy Communion. He's not just sending us our representative, but he's giving us the deepest expression of who he is. So let this fill you with that Christmas cheer as we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. The sense of he's here for you in the midst of your desert, to heal your brokenness, to bring sight to your blindness, to fix the deformities that get in the way of being able to live the way that we were made, to be able to speak those words of blessing to one another, and to be fed in a way that only the Lord can feed us, to satisfy the deepest longings of our heart, the holy desires that the Lord placed within our heart that have been wounded by sin, that have been disordered in different ways. The Lord saying, I have come to set those things right so that you can love in truth and justice and in mercy.